Hello everyone and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. We are playing as France. It is May of 1941. The Germans still haven't attacked the lowlands, nor have they gone up here into Norway and Sweden. The Finns got their butts handed to them by the Soviets, but they have since joined the Axis powers, which, I mean, good for them, I suppose. It just means that we'll need to invade them at some point in time. And we just finished attacking Bulgaria and taking Corsica back for the second time from German paratroopers. We have our 2nd British Corps back, heading back over here to the Yugoslav front down here. Maybe at some point Germany will actually make a move down in this direction. At this point I'm not too threatened by anything. We are sort of pulling the normal French mistake of not having any troops in reserve. I mean, we can always pull troops back off of that line, this line up here, if Italy decides to join the war. Speaking of Italy, they have a significant amount of troops up here. This is fairly well defensible territory. It's mountains, it's fairly well fortified. We'll be able to put up a good fight down here, but if they have significantly more troops than us, I'm not sure there will be anything we can really do about their advance in that direction. So we might actually need to pull some troops down from the northern front up here, which would be fine. I mean, it's not the worst thing that has ever happened. Some people have suggested that I actually let the Germans take Denmark in order to let the game actually progress. We're sort of thinking that Germany isn't attacking the Low Countries because they haven't taken Denmark yet, and they feel like Denmark is their main objective. And honestly, I mean, if they wanted to take Denmark, they have paratroopers already, right? They could land paratroopers over here and surround my units over here in Faaborg, and then hold me back behind the strait right here in the Øresund, take this island from me, and then do the exact same thing over here. I only have one corps of troops over here. If Germany really wanted to, they could also do a naval invasion. Like, I haven't prevented them from moving around in this area. They have a strait right across this area right here, the Kiel, I suppose. It's, I mean, Germany does have options if they really want Denmark. I don't think it's that they want Denmark. I think it's just that they don't think that they can win. I think they have a bunch of troops over here not doing anything. I mean, we don't know how many troops they have over here, but look, these are 2 army-level commands over here, 3 army-level commands. They're really worried about their front with the Soviets, and I can completely understand that. So there's really the options for them are rather limited at this point. We're holding them back to such an extent that they don't think that they can win against us by heading through the Low Countries. At least that's the impression I get. I mean, I could be completely and utterly wrong in this regard. I sort of get the impression that Germany is trying to focus down here in the south because that's where it thinks that it can win against us. And that's why they got Bulgaria on their side and tried to take over Romania and sort of solidify their southern front down here. But we just completely we said no to that idea. You know, it's one of those things where there's a few things that we can do directly against the Germans, so we might as well attack them indirectly. You know, it makes sense to me. Okay, we now have mechanized infantry. When we have enough production available, once all of our airfields have started, you know, we've finished up with some of these airplanes, we're going to actually start upgrading our motorized infantry over here to mechanized forces. Mechanized are pretty darn good. Let's actually go into the brigade attachment and see the actual stats here. We don't have very good tech in terms of light tank engine, gun, armor, reliability, that sort of thing. We're still on Model 1938 and only Model 1940 for the light tank gun, but we are working on researching that, so these will get better. But just comparing the mechanized to the motorized here, you see they have higher soft attack, they have higher hard attack, the same amount of piercing attack, and while they do suffer a little bit, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. They don't suffer at all from defensiveness or from toughness. I mean, they're a straight upgrade from motorized in nearly every way. They do cost significantly more, almost twice as much in terms of industrial capacity, and supplying them, they need more supplies and more fuel. But we're doing just fine on fuel, and because we have Romania as our little ally over here, they give us the special resource. Where are they? Right here, oil refinery. We get an additional 50% oil when we're converting our oil into fuel. So we're not even converting the oil we have into fuel because we're not using very much of it at all. And I think we're doing just fine in terms of fuel. We might want to start transitioning into an even more mechanized army. We can now pass limited restrictions over here, which improves our counterintelligence by 15%, which is fantastic. It also increases the efficiency of partisans in our country, but we don't really have any occupied territory, so I'm not going to worry about that. Also gives us a nice little bonus to our consumer goods, which we are producing 0 of, but that means that we get a base descent reduction of negative 0.09% per day. So yeah, pretty darn good. Large front advance. I haven't played in a bit, so I'm still getting back into things. Right, we wanted the human wave unit cooperation, which isn't going to be that necessary. We might have a whole slew of troops along this line, though. We do have 2 full armies ready to deploy across that line, so if we can reduce the stacking penalties, we might as well reduce the stacking penalties. And yeah, the Germans are still attacking us in Faaborg. I didn't have these guys strategic redeploy, and I'm a little bit too lazy to fix that, so I think we'll be just fine having them walk over there. They are going to go very slowly, though. We're also only playing on speed 3. Oh, what's this? Wilhelm II, the last Kaiser of the German Empire, passed away today at the age of 82. He fled into exile in the Netherlands at the conclusion of the First World War after abdicating the throne and vowing never to return to Germany until the monarchy had been restored. He assumed the throne in 1888 upon the deaths of his grandfather Wilhelm I and his father Frederick III, who only reigned for 99 days. His oldest son, the former Crown Prince Wilhelm, who commanded the Fifth Army during the Great War, is now the new head of the House Hohenzollern. And I don't know how to pronounce that, but okay. Good job. He's dead. Sorry. Wasting production. We don't need nearly as many upgrades now. That's fantastic. And yeah, really the only battles that are happening is up here in Faaborg. And if the Germans really just want to throw away 1,000 of their troops every so often, I am more than willing to let them. We're getting really well upgraded troops over here. They're very experienced. We're having no problems with reinforcement. Actually, we are having a bit of a problem with reinforcement. This unit, the 25th Anti-Tank, you are not doing too hot, dude. It's a little bit worrying. Why are we not reinforcing them very well? I mean, we can't reinforce while they're in battle. Let's wait a day. Up the reinforcement. Much less upgrades. It's always a nice thing. And let's watch. It was this unit, right? Yeah. 516. Next day, 533. Okay, it's just going slowly, and they're just continuing to throw more and more men at the front line. So, I guess we do want more morale. It's a good thing. We need this mechanized and motorized troop organization. It is a little bit of a difficult tech to research, but yeah, they're throwing units at Faaborg. Let's do a little ground air intercept over here. We have upgraded some of these. Okay, they're all level 3 now. I suppose really we just want to make them pay for it. Still, I mean, it's the same old at this point. It's been the same for the last year almost. We've been getting better technologies, and they've been getting more and more troops, and I mean, eventually we'll reach the point where we can't really compete with them anymore, and they'll just run over us. But we want to put that day off as long as possible, at least until the Soviet Union gets here, and then we'll actually be able to do some good. Like, just let's take a look at the. Actually, it would be an intelligence, wouldn't it? Yeah, we have 8 active spies, so we can sort of count on these numbers being true. They're working with 338 production, and they still have over 1,000 manpower. We're only working with 161 production, and we have 205 manpower. It's really not a contest. If they wanted to, they could steamroll us, but they don't want to, because apparently they're threatened by the Soviet Union. They need to garrison their border. It's a tough spot for Germany to be in, or they can't really advance in any direction. Really, though, they need to get on the ball about taking over the Low Countries. They need to do something. Like, they can't afford to fight a two-front war. The only way... Oh, we can do even more of this. Great, our counterintelligence is doing spectacular now. They can't afford to fight a two-front war against both France and the Soviet Union at the same time. Like, it's just not a good idea to have your army split between two fronts when you could have them all on one front. So really, they just need to pull their armies off of the Soviet border, move them over here, and do their best to steamroll us as quickly as possible. Call Italy, call your little Hungarian friend down here, and just do your best to take this front from us, take France from us, before the Soviet Union decides that it's taking too long and it's time to attack. You know, that's really Germany's main worry here, because the Soviets will attack. When they think they can win, they will attack. And maybe they, will think they can win and they really can't win, but that's not our problem, that's the Soviet Union's problem. Actually, I hope that they attack when they are wrong about them being able to win. I do need to watch our airplanes, though, because they have a tendency to just get completely demolished. But when we do that, they just throw men away. Just throw them away. Here, take them. Just complete and utter destruction. And yeah, they only seem to be bombing us when they're actively attacking now, so it's not like a constant bombing campaign or anything like that, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. How are our vessels doing? You're not doing too well. You're not doing too well. Okay, let's send our submarines back home, at least for a little bit, and we'll move the backup fleet out here to patrol, and we'll move the main battle fleet over here to repair just a little bit. We've already basically completely destroyed the German fleet, so we don't need to worry too much about them actually breaking through and, say, taking over the British islands, but we do need to worry about them making this quick little jump up here to Norway. Now, so far they haven't declared on Norway, but that doesn't mean that they won't, although they probably won't while we control Denmark. While Denmark's fleet's still traveling around out here, just a fleet of destroyers, making itself known, I suppose. But yeah, I guess it's nice to have these troops over here in Denmark, in addition to our own troops. It would be really nice when we actually have to fight down here to have both Bulgaria and Romania on our side. That'll just be fantastic. I'm fairly certain that Romania will be able to take on Hungary on their own, and with Bulgaria's help, that'll be fantastic. If we can get Yugoslavia on our side, that would be even better. Honestly, though, I want to put that off because this is a border with Germany that we don't really want to garrison. It is mountains up here. If we can push them all the way up to the mountains, that'd be great. But then we need to deal with this front, and Slovakia's Germany too, so that whole front is not something we can handle. Maybe with the Yugoslav army, the Greek army, the Bulgarian army, and the Romanian army we can handle it, but I'm not entirely convinced of our ability to do that. Okay, so we have some production extra. And what we did over here is we deployed some medium armored brigades directly to the Maginot army because we didn't have enough manpower to actually complete a new armored corps. So I think I'm going to detach them from the Maginot army. Detach them. Move them over here. And we're going to upgrade these units to mechanized first. Whoa, one of them took 6? One of them takes 5.41, yep. Okay, so we're going to do them one at a time. I'm going to upgrade these ones to mechanized first, and then we're going to sub them into our full-strength armored corps over here. Siam wants military access? Sure, Siam. Are you at war with someone? No, but you're trying to join the Allies. Fantastic. We will welcome you with open arms. Where's Yugoslavia? They're getting really close to the Axis. Although it looks like Germany stopped influencing them, so they're going to come back in our direction. Yeah, even if we don't actually succeed in getting Yugoslavia on our side, preventing them from joining the Axis powers is probably going to be the best option we have. One of the better outcomes anyway. So yeah, you're going to be upgrading. Oh, we can see the progress here. That's pretty cool, actually. Let's upgrade both of you to mechanized as well. And those will be some pretty tough units. Oh, we have our first multi-role. Wonderful. A little bit of multi-role fighters down here. That'll be nice. Do you need to upgrade more? I don't know. It says you're level 2, and our interceptors are all at level 3, but I guess level 3 interceptors could be the same tech level as level 2 multi-rolls, because multi-rolls are a later technology, so not that surprising. Okay, well I think that if we're going to dedicate ourselves to upgrading, we need to go all in and really dedicate ourselves to upgrading. We're going to leave these units down here as motorized because I'm still a little bit worried about their ability to actually be supplied by our ports down here. Now we could always spend some industrial capacity upgrading these ports, but if we lose them, I don't want to give the Italians excellent ports. So I don't think that's going to be an option for us. One thing we could do is start fleshing out our medium tanks. We could just start building more medium tank, or we could build some more mountain infantry for the Italian front. I do think that the Italian front needs a little bit of love. How much manpower would that cost if we built another infantry corps? We'll not build them as reserves. 47, basically 50 man. Oh, no, 56 manpower cost. Do we need anti-tank down here against Italy? I don't think Italy has a really large tank force. No, they don't. So we'd be building artillery instead. Artillery. 56.6 manpower. Can we afford it, is the real question. Well, I guess that's not the real question, because we need it. Yeah, okay, we're gonna build one more corps of regular infantry. We're gonna deploy them down here to the Italian front. Hopefully that should be good. Hey, better organization for our tanks. Mechanized. Actually, we'll continue researching. Well, morale would be nice. Lets them attack more. But no, straight organization is probably best. Light tank engine is always good to have. And we'll move that down to medium tank. Good stuff. What can we deploy? More multi-role fighters. Wonderful. And we have one more unit of multi-roles coming in. Bring our total up to 3. And then we're going to focus on the army a little bit before we further expand the Air Force. I guess, yeah, 200 manpower is a decent amount to have in reserves. I mean, you really want more. It goes pretty darn quick, honestly. We've been lucky enough to do most of our fighting over here with British troops. So, yay, Great Britain. Oh, speaking of, we've got some more. First Royal Marines, and we have Welsh Area HQ Division. Okay. I guess we need more headquarters over here. Oh, and they gave us the Welsh Division, another infantry division with no artillery, no support whatsoever. And East Euro Expeditionary Army. And we'll move them over here to Brest. And we'll take our transport fleet and rebase them up here in Brest. Bring it back over. We had them based in Corsica, apparently. So does that mean we can disband this corps? I think it does. Yeah, let's disband this command. Disband this command. And then attach these guys to the Welsh area headquarters, which has room for one more division. Good. Just increased our manpower pool. Our officer pool, anyway. earlier in the video, I cut down on the number of officers we were recruiting because we've surpassed the 140% limit. I am going to continue producing officers because we will need more of them as our army continues to expand. And hopefully we can continue to expand our army. I mean, it seems to be doing pretty well up until this point, so Bulgaria is not doing too well with its new government. One thing we do need to do is go to allies. Did we actually puppet? Allied with Bulgaria. Yeah, we puppeted Bulgaria, so we're kind of directly responsible for Bulgaria's government at this point. So we need to go to intelligence and spies and set Bulgaria as like highest priority and just support their ruling party as much as we possibly can. That is going to put a damper on our German operations, but as we saw before, our spies really aren't that good against Germany, so it'll be a-okay. Well, it's August of 1941 now, and if the Germans decide to attack us now, they're going to be having all those nasty winter penalties, so I don't think they will. How are our submarines doing? Not quite repaired yet, so we'll leave them in dock just a little bit longer. There's the last multi-roll, and we don't need quite so many upgrades, which is a good thing. And we are now producing more infantry at a faster rate. Hey, combat medicine! Wonderful. Let's dump some more into industrial production. We need every single ounce of industrial capacity we can possibly get. These guys, we can move them over here. Let's actually strategic redeploy, because I don't want to be too stupid in front of all of y'all. And we'll continue to move down the line over here. Wonderful. They did give us a significant amount of Marines. So if I had my way, we wouldn't need to deploy them down here in a sort of holding pattern against the Germans and Italians. We'd actually use the Marines to take Italian islands in the Caribbean. The Caribbean. The Mediterranean. My goodness. We'll actually use them to take Italian islands in the Mediterranean, maybe even cut off some units in the boot here. Like if we were to make a landing up here in Napoli and push right across here, especially if we could integrate the mountains into our defense, use this port to supply our troops and just put a defensive line across these 4 or even these 3 provinces. We could surround the entirety of the Italian army down here and then just slowly reduce them. Maybe even take Rome before they had a chance to react, bring their troops from the north down. Oh. Outlaw fascists? Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at war with fascists, so it's a war of ideology at this point. Can't be having no free speech. What's free speech? This is France. I do feel a little bit bad because of all of the recent events in France. I know this is going to sort of date the video, but with the absolute nonsense that happened in Paris, with ISIS and the terrorist attacks, it was absolutely horrible and tragic. But this is a historical war game about World War II. It's really got nothing to do with modern day politics, and anything we say in this game really needs to be taken completely outside of any political context. Like this is a game about total war, total destruction, total clash of ideologies in which thousands of people die, and it's represented by silly little numbers on the screen, and the combat experience of frontline troops is measured in little gold stars over here. You know, this is a video game. We really can't get into politics about it, and I think the healthy way to look at games like this, especially more British troops, especially with respect to what's happening in the world, is with the idea in mind that this is just a video game, right? This is just a game. This is not something that is meant to be taken seriously, is meant to be taken taken as fact or even as a representation in game form of current geopolitical allegiances or political leanings or anything like that. Like, I don't care about my government over here, social liberalism, and whether or not this dude was actually a good guy. I mean, the game says he's a barking buffoon, so I don't know anything about it. What I do know is that they've distilled these down into a series of numbers that represent the popularity of your party and the organization of your party, and that somehow has anything at all to do with you winning an election in a democracy. Like, really, this is oversimplified in just about every single possible way, and we can't take the game too seriously. Otherwise, it stops being a game and starts being something that actually legitimately means something to people. And once something legitimately means something to people, it's really difficult to not take things seriously. Like, not take things as personal insults. Like, it's possible I will lose this game. It's very possible I will lose. And as we all know, the only reason that this game is allowed to be sold in Germany is because they have absolutely no swastikas anywhere. There is no references to the Holocaust or any of the atrocities suffered at the hands of the Nazi Party in Germany, in the Lowlands, in Denmark, or in any of these Eastern European countries. Germany does not have a button he can click that enacts genocide. You know, this is a video game. It's meant to be fun, and it's also meant to enable you to reflect on what actually happened on a world scale, and maybe be placed in a position like some of the leaders of countries back in the 1940s to make some of the same decisions. Like, here I am focusing on the army to the detriment of the navy, even though the French navy was one of the best, if not like the third best in the entire world at this point. But completely regardless of any politics that may be going on in the country at the time, something that, you know, the actual government would need to pay attention to. They need to balance the needs of the military and all the branches of the military against each other. I've just unilaterally decided that no, we will build no more ships, we will research nothing more about the Navy, and that would be a humongous hit to the prestige of the French. I mean, look at this empire that they've built. How are you going to maintain this without a top-notch Navy, you know? You've got islands all across the world, and even over here in South America. You've got a piece of the mainland in South America, over here in Cayenne. It's not meant to be a complete 100% geopolitical simulator, you know? It's meant to be a fun war game. It's encompassing a time span of about 10 years. And I can't believe I have time to talk about this. I should be getting my ass handed to me right now by Germany. It's just absolutely ridiculous. What are you doing? What are you doing? Look at all these units you have not doing anything. I'm just gonna be quiet for a little bit, I think. Convoy rating, please. Thank you. Convoy rating. Up here. Please. Thank you. Where are you? You're over here not doing much of anything. Convoy raid over here in the Orson. Yep. Good. You're in the Mediterranean. You're in the Mediterranean. You're in the Mediterranean. You're in the Mediterranean. Not doing anything. Good. Italy's probably been building up their military. Yeah, you can build some of my aircraft. That's fine. You're a little buddy of mine, right? We've got more troops over here. Let's see. You're attached to the 2nd Brit Corps, and you are attached to this one, so you go down here. And I guess we'll have these guys be the strategic reserve. I mean, right now it's just 10,000 mountain troops, but we've got the entire Yugoslav front covered. And they've been focusing, like, why does Bulgaria see Greece as the main threat here? I have no idea. How are you doing? Almost done. Almost done with these units. There we go. Human wave is done. So now we can go on to, yeah, organization of our support units is always great. Okay. You're fully upgraded, so we will pull you. out, move you down here, start you, well, let's not start you upgrading yet. Move you up here. Because we don't have the production to actually start, we need to finish these infantry divisions first. Oh, there we go. We have the production to actually start. Okay, well, let's pick up that unit again. You. Move down here. Oop. What happened? Did I do it already? I did. Okay, well, never mind. You get back up there. This was actually the mechanized unit, the one we already upgraded. And we'll upgrade you to mechanized. Wonderful! Alright. Well, it is the 9th of November 1941, and absolutely nothing has happened this episode. Great! I probably made a complete and utter fool of myself and stuck my foot in my mouth a couple of times, but hey, I hope it was fun. I'll see you all next time, guys, and thank you much.